Yes, boys, so welcome to round 3 of TSRL Tier 7, or the Wednesday League, here at Vietnam. We come into this race off the back of Bahrain. If you haven't seen that video, then please check it out. But we came, spoiler alert, we came 10th in that race, after all was the shambles in quali, and then mistakes from me in the race cost us some good points. So coming into this round, we're 10 points off Ben, IMP in the championship. So this is a track I enjoy. It is one that we'll need to be looking to close that gap on. I did feel like I had the pace in this race, but this is certainly a race of attrition. The walls are always are very close, and it's very easy to knock off a front wing. A few places where it's really easy to cut as well. So yeah, it can be a race of attrition. If you have the pace, that doesn't really matter around here. Is who can get to the finish line first in one piece. You can see us there just a few moments ago checking the weather report. So this session actually Q2, there's only 15 in the lobby, so we didn't do Q1 straight into Q2. There was rain forecasted on the schedule about 10 to 15 minutes into the session, or it might have been 5 or 10, I can't quite remember. But yeah, there's a bit of a mad dash to get out. In hindsight, probably should have gone out on the mediums, because I think the optimum race strategy was medium to hard. But we've gone out on the softs just to make sure that we get that lap in early, in case the rain comes quite quickly. It does still look quite bright, but yeah, we've come out straight away. Got a car just in front of us, so we're going to let him go a bit. But you can see all the drivers that have come out straight away. It's not normal in Q2 for everyone to go out straight away, and obviously that was due to the rain. So coming on to the start of our lap here, got to let this car go a bit. We don't want to be catching him. Difficult final corner, trying to hold it in 4th on the exit, use 5th and open the DRS to start the lap. Going to be looking for the 100-meter board down into turn 1. Braking in a straight line, using first to get the car in, which I don't actually do on that time. A very difficult opening section, not really a reference point for this turn 2, but we do manage to navigate it quite nicely, getting as close to the wall as we can on the exit, opening the DRS. Down towards turn 4, I believe, again looking for the 100-meter board on the left hand side. Using 3rd gear to get the car turned in. Some difficult curves to navigate. You can see it unsettles the car slightly. This roundabout corner is awful. Absolutely hate it. I use 5th through there. I feel like it's just a lot more stable. It's probably not as fast, but very stable to do it that way. Very, very long back straight now, using the DRS, hugging this wall on the right hand side for the shortest run down to the very tricky hairpin. Going to be looking for the little Rolex sign overhead. Braking as far to the right hand side as we can, using first to get the car in. Not crucial to hit that apex there. Short shifting on the exit to get as good traction as we possibly can. And the curbing starts on the left hand side, that's the reference point. Using 3rd, taking as much curb as you can. Throws us wide a little bit, almost hitting the wall. Definitely lost some time. Through the tricky S's now, holding it in 6th. Keeps the car stable, hugging that wall on the left hand side. We can see Ben's done the fastest time so far. Not take as much as that curb as we would like. Through to the penultimate corner, missing that apex. And then coming up to the final corner now. Missed that apex as well, so there's definitely time in this lap, but it's a 1:33.7. Which as a banker, you can see it takes us to 1st position. Is not bad at all. It's not a bad time. So we jump forward now to our 2nd run in Q2. You can see it is a lot darker now. But while it is still dry, we're going to go out again on the softs. We don't have, we have the spare tyres where we didn't run in Q1 due to the number of people in the lobby, and we know we can improve on the time that we have, even though we are in 2nd place, so we might as well do that. Coming down to 1st corner, again aiming for that 100-meter board. Again, clunking over that curb, does seem to unsettle the car and cost us a bit of time.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Not as smooth through those first couple of corners as we would like to be. We've lost a little bit of time on our first sector from the previous lap. But we know towards the end of the lap we did make a few mistakes, so there's definitely time to be gained there. Missing that apex, but we're a lot smoother over the curves that time, and we can see the time that's gained us. A much better line through the roundabout as well, so we're a few temps up on our initial time. And we know there is time in the last part of the lap as well. So again, down the long straight, opening the DRS, hugging the wall on the right hand side for the shortest run to the hairpin. Again, looking for that Rolex sign just above. Braked a little bit late. Missed the apex, and touching that curb is not what you want to do. Lost a bit of that time that we had found through that roundabout section. Onto this tricky left-hander. Again, braked very late. Again, running out wide. We've clipped the curb. Very, very lively on the power.
5 minutes.
Did very well to
3
keep
minutes
it
of
out the
session
wall.
remaining.
And that's that run over. Looking at the times that we've got from everyone else in this session, the time that we had done in our first run, even though there was time to be found, it looks like it's going to be enough. But so we're currently in third, I believe. It looks like it's going to be enough to get us through to Q3. So here we are then, the results for Q2. You can see by the time we did was good enough for 4th place, and we had a bit of buffer to get through into the session. And the one thing I was hoping for was no rain in Q3. Although it was raining towards the end of the session, I was hopeful that we wouldn't have any rain in the session, as I felt like my dry pace was quite good, but my wet pace was not. Just on this game in general, traction is something that I struggle with. So in the rain, those that are on a pad and those with traction are going to be I felt like they were a lot better in wet conditions on this game on any circuit. And my dry pace here was quite good, as I said, so I really wasn't hoping for any rain. So as we load into the garage now, it's raining. It was obvious it was going to be raining, but I was hoping that it wouldn't be. So yeah, as we're putting more fuel into the car now, not confident. I don't think I had done any wet race, or wet driving, sorry, around Hanoi. But we're going to give it our best shot. Never want to quit. So we're just going to go out, spend about half of the session just getting used to it, maybe 3/4 of the session, and then come in for one flying lap at the end. Got lots of fuel in. We're not going to be using hot lap, especially through the slow parts of the track, so we're just going to be throwing everything at it in this session. So as we finish our first run in Q3, what was a side to lap really, just to see where the grip was, where you can brake. Coming up to the line now. So 1:49.0. And completing our second run, we can see we're comfortably up on our previous time. Got a much better idea about where the grip is, where you can brake. Coming up to the line, it's a 1:48.0, so a whole second faster. Still 3 tenths down on Ben, so there's still time to be found. But much happier with that time. After that run, we decided to come back into the pits.
Take a set of intermediates.
Only 3 minutes left of the session, so we decided to take all the fuel out of the car, and strap on a new set of boots, and go out for one more flying lap. So I'm going to leave you with that flying lap. I'll let it run out in full, so you can get an idea of this track in the wet, how tricky it is. It was our best lap in the session, but certainly not the best lap we could possibly do. So yeah, here's that quali lap. So yeah, as I said, not the best that we could do. Two big mistakes that we made coming out of turn one and the hairpin at the end of the straight. Probably lost about 6 to 8 temps all in, and we do end up 6th in the actual standings. I'm not sure if we would have got to Ben's time. It's a very, very quick quali lap. 6th position isn't the worst that we could do, as we're just comparing the sectors to those around us. Very, very good last sector from us. Just wasn't, unfortunately, able to replicate that. So we do start tomorrow's race, which is dry, by the way, for the entire race. We do start that from 6th tomorrow, which is not where we want to be. Our teammate doing a great job in 2nd, by the way. Comfortably his best qualifying of the season. So let's see what we can do from 6th position. So here we are then, as the lights are coming on now. We've got 5 lights for the start of round 3 of Tier 7 TSRL. We are underway. Reasonable getaway for us. AlphaTauri on the right is lagging all over the place. We've gone up the inside of him. Oh, we've hit the back of Ashley. Way too ambitious into the first corner. It's cost us position to the Alfa Romeo. And another position to the other Alfa Romeo. These two have been a bit of a burden for us in previous races. We managed to squeeze past. We hit the back of Egg. And we do pick up, I think, a tiny bit of wing damage. We're going to deploy overtake to try and get past down into turn 4, which I think we managed to do. So up into 5th. So although I didn't handle the first corner very well, we have gained a position off the start up to 5th. See, we got Ashley Silent Thief ahead of us, and then Illy ahead of that. I know Illy was very quick around here. We've done a mid to low 24 in time trial, with something I couldn't manage. But yeah, not an awful start up to 5th position. As we cut ahead now to the end of lap 2. Illy has set the fastest lap. Not a lot of change ahead of us, and we actually have a safety car deployed. Full safety car on the end of lap 2, start of lap 3. Not 100% sure what that was for. But nonetheless, this leaves us in a bit of a tricky position in terms of strategy. My plan was on the soft tyres, obviously the tyres that we qualified on Q2 on, was to take them to around lap 8 or 9 and then take the hards to the end. This does throw that in the air a bit now, because the option is there to move to a 2-stop and use 2 set of mediums or medium soft possibly to the end of the race. So not sure what we'll be able to do here. We do have our teammate ahead of us. As we cut forward now to the end of the lap, we can see Ben in the lead, and Illy and my teammate and the McLaren all peel off into the pits. So we decided to stay out. We knew that there would be people behind us pitting as well, so we didn't want to get held in the pits, because I feel like we would have got held for a long time. So we decided we're going to stay out. We're going to stick to our original strategy, which is to just pit for the hards around lap 8 or 9, depending on how far we can take these softs. So at the end of the safety car period now, we are in the lead. We got Finn behind us on the hards, which is certainly one to watch out for. He's certainly going to be one stopping. This safety car doesn't change his strategy at all. And Ben's actually come out in 5th, so he's only lost 4 positions from the safety car. We see that he's on the medium tyre, which is the faster tyre than ours at the moment, given the wear. And he's probably going to go to another set of softs or another set of mediums towards the end. So we are a bit compromised now. All we need to do is focus on our restart, build the gap, and then see where the race takes us from there. So coming on to the final corner now, the race is back underway. Beginning of lap 6, so we won't be on these tyres for too much longer. It's important for us to get out of the slipstream and tow with Finn behind us. We should theoretically be on slower tyres at this point in the race. And coming through the first few corners, looking to really nail it, losing all of the track on the exit there. Missed that apex slightly. Do seem to see the gap that we built to Finn already behind us. So we're already out of that tow, or the DRS, sorry, even though it won't be available yet. and we just need to continue to build that lead over the stint. So cutting forward to the end of lap 10 now, and we can see that we haven't really built that gap out. It's only stayed at 1.6 seconds, and this is the lap that we're going to peel off into the pits, so not as quick as we would want to be to the cars behind us. See, Ben is already up to 3rd position, on what is probably a better strategy from this point onwards, so not the greatest of opening stints. I'm going to be putting the hard tyres on and taking these to the end of the race. What I wouldn't like is any, well, safety cars could help us, but I would just like a clean race from here to the end. I feel like the gap that we had and the fresh tyres we'll be going on to, we should be able to jump the cars ahead of us and maintain the lead of the race. It's just whether we could keep it from then on. But I was running quite a high speed setup, so I felt like I could do that. We've come out the hits in some nice clean air in P8, so we've just got to get head down now, focus on the lap times and make sure the cars ahead of us don't come out ahead when they come in for their stops. As you can see there, we've come up to the back of Spenny in the Renault very quickly. It looks like he's got some sort of damage, moving very slowly, so we're going to try and capitalise on that straight away, try not to lose any time with the DRS and the overtake. Into turn 4, we brake very late though, we do compromise our line, ruin that curve a little bit, and Spenny's going to have a look up the inside, which is not a place to overtake. I feel like we did leave him a bit of room, but you certainly can't go too wide through there. And he's hit the back of us and spun out. I don't really feel like there could have been much more that I could have done through there. I did leave him a bit of room, but I certainly, if I was in his position, I wouldn't be sticking my nose in that corner. I would have been sitting behind and then trying to get the toe down into the hairpin if he was trying to overtake me back. So cutting forward to lap 16 then, we see that Ben has actually come into the pits for another set of mediums, I believe. So we're up into P3, the cars ahead of us, Finn on the hards who's still yet to pit, and Kehoe in the other Mercedes just ahead of us, who's we've been reeling in over the last few laps. And Ben has come out just 3 seconds behind, so it'll be very difficult for us to keep him behind us with the amount of laps that are left. And just a couple of laps later we have caught up to the back of Kehoe, but similarly Ben has caught to the back of us, so we need to dispatch of this Mercedes as quickly as we can before Ben can get us, because he is significantly faster on that new tyre. Do get a good exit out of this roundabout, so we're going to be putting it up to Rich, using as much overtake as we can. We know the DRS is going to be active in just a moment's time. Good slipstream. DRS open now. We're going to move to the right hand side. Looks like he's going to stay very defensive. And we do have a safety car just as we were looking to move over to the right hand side. So quite unfortunate. If that safety car had come 5 seconds later, then we would have kept the position. And we can see as well we're going to be moving on to a new set of softs to take us to the end of the race. As these hards, they would have gone to the end, but with other people around us, Ben especially. And the gap that we have, the P5 down to Reese, we're going to be looking to come into the pits at the end of this lap. Finn in the lead as well, he's lucked out a bit here because, well, I should say lucked in, because he's going to be able to get a free pit stop here. Ben is going to follow us in, which I thought was a weird decision at the time. If I was him, I would have stayed out and got the track position. And Kehoe is going to pit as well. So, the leaders will stay in the positions that they are, so we'll have Finn, Kehoe, myself, and then Ben, all on fresh tyres that can go to the end of the race. So here's that order confirmed then, as we're about to get racing on the end of lap 20, start lap 21. So Finn, Kehoe, myself, Ben behind us, and then Reese behind him. I feel like everyone came into the pits in that, but don't count me on that. So we're going to be looking to get as good exit as we possibly can. Kehoe's been caught napping a little bit by Finn. We've turned him way too early, we've clipped the wall. Just scarily, and we have got front wing damage from that impact there. So not the restart that you would want. And we've almost lost it on the curb as well. So it's been a shocking restart to the race. We are still firmly in the slipstream of Kehoe, and he doesn't seem to have any toe from Finn ahead. Finn has got the jump on all of us. So if we can, we're going to be looking to make a move on the Mercedes here, coming down to the roundabout section. And we've turned way too early, and that is our, I don't think that was our third warning actually, but the game has given us a 3-second penalty for that, which I completely understand. I absolutely annihilated that chicane, so that is the worst start, almost spinning, lost a little bit of our front wing, and a time penalty to the start of this restart. We're not using overtake down into this hairpin. Ben's going to make a move down the inside. We've braked too late. We've hit the back of Kehoe. And that is going to get Ben up into third position. So it's been an awful restart. Checking the front wing, I don't think there was any more damage. If there was, it was minute. We already had quite a bit anyway. But yeah, that is us down into fourth place. And at this point, I was close to giving up. I felt like the win was on. I felt like I had the pace on the 2 cars ahead of me, but now with the time penalty and the damage that we had, I thought, well, that's it. The race is over. As we cut forward slightly, Ben is right up behind his teammate and is going to breeze past. Don't know if that's Kehoe defending or just sort of letting him go. Yeah, our main championship rival, the guy that we are 10 points behind in the championship, is now 2 places ahead of us, 6 points ahead of us from this race result. And we have a time penalty. And we're going to have a look at Kehoe again actually. Not an overtaking corner, so think better of it. Has that front wing damage again. And we have a virtual safety car. Not 100% what for again. The game seems to love to throw these out. Yeah, virtual safety car. Not the restart that we wanted from the full safety car a few laps before. But the race certainly isn't over. So we can see Ashley is the car in 6th position. He is almost 3 seconds behind us and on a slower compound of tyre. So the race isn't over yet. And coming onto this restart, we've got the safety car ending. It's ended in quite a nice place for us. We do have to lift a little bit going into turn 1. We didn't have to think about the delta too much coming onto the restart. We are still within the slipstream and an attacking range of the Mercedes ahead of us. We do have SAV Legend just behind us, who is within our penalty window. I don't think any of the drivers around me had a penalty as well. Yeah, just making the most of it as we can. We do have DRS still active. Obviously Kehoe has DRS on his teammate ahead. It's gone a bit wide through that roundabout section. We're able to get a better exit. We'll use an overtake down the straight. Saving it for later laps. Not quite close enough as he'll have DRS on the car ahead too. Going down towards the hairpin. I was really hoping Kehoe would just send it on, but he decides better of it. Get traction out of that section. You can see actually behind us in 6th position as we have another virtual safety car. The game just loves to throw them out. We can see behind us Maka in 6th. Is now outside of our penalty window. So from here going forward, as long as nothing else crazy happens, and we are looking at 5th place as being on the cards, which is still good points. Does look like we will lose out to Ben. Still good points nonetheless. As we have the virtual safety car ending again, similar position to last lap, and it's ended very abruptly. And we've got a brilliant run on Kehoe going down towards turn 1. So from the restart, we've been able to jump him, spotted our braking point nicely. That's us up into 3rd place. So that safety car, or that virtual safety car, ended just at the perfect time. I think Kehoe had to lift off for his delta. We did not, and we've able to jump him into turn 1. So now we just have to see if we can stay within Ben's DRS, which I highly doubted with the wing damage that we had. Do a good job of that roundabout section, but it looks like we will just be outside of DRS. Trying to break the toe of the Mercedes behind us. We didn't want him just sending it back on us. We've got 5 laps, including this one, just to build the lead over them, and a podium is possible, as we just check to see if he has any penalties, but he doesn't. Coming down into the hairpin. Yeah, 5 laps to go including this one, so just try and build the time up. It will be in our slipstream, but if we can push. I feel like I did have the pace, and it was just whether the wing damage would hamper our lap time too much. As we cut forward now to the end of lap 25, we can actually see the leader, Finn, who had a lead of about 4 seconds before, has come down to about 1, and he's actually just there. I can tell you, he did actually have wing damage, so we get a little bit excited coming out that penultimate corner. So there's more points to be had here, with Finn going slowly. And coming down to turn 1, Ben's going very slowly, and we've just cruised past him. So we're up into second place, and he's actually been disqualified. So I can tell you that he actually sped onto the virtual safety car, only by about half a tenth, but the game gave him a drive-through penalty, and he just refused to serve it, so that's him disqualified. So we're up into second place. Finn ahead of us has severe wing damage, a lot worse than ours, as you can see from how slow he's going. So after a race or a safety car restart, which we thought was done, having lost a bit of our front wing, been overtaken by Ben and received a tyre penalty, we're now up to second place. Looking at the back of first, we've got DRS, 2 laps to go after this one, and looking at the gaps as well, down to 4th, SAV Legend, who's just been overtaken by Maka. They are more than 3 seconds behind us, so it looks like if we can keep it all together and not battle too hard, then a podium is secured from what I never thought would be. Before the safety car, I thought a podium might be on the cards, but after the restart we had, I definitely didn't. So coming through this final sector now, we can see how much Finn is struggling ahead of us. He's so slow with that wing damage. He runs a little bit wide. We're going to try and pounce on this as quickly as we can. We don't want to be held up with the time penalty we had out of the penultimate corner. We get a good exit. It does compromise our line, but we do find that line quite nicely. Trying to break the toe again, if we can, down towards turn 1, and that's us up into the lead, which is really frustrating when you consider the time penalty that we got. I'm pretty confident, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty confident that wasn't our third warning. And it was a severe corner cut, and I understand what the game gave it. But yeah, if we didn't have that one silly mistake, we would have actually come away from this as a winner, which would be something that I certainly would have taken, given the race that we had. And we make a little mistake going through this chicane, but we can see how much Finn is struggling with that wing damage. I think he does have DRS on us, yes he does, and we don't really have any overtake to defend with. So unfortunately we're not going to be able to pull away on the straights, as Kehoe actually now makes the move on Finn. Coming down into the hairpin, he's got the inside line. Finn looks like he's going to hang it around the outside. He has the better line coming into this right-hander. They're still side by side behind us. This is good for us if they can hold each other up and we can build this lead. And coming into the final sector, it looks like Finn has kept the position, so we build the gap to a second now. We know how much he's going to struggle through this last sector as we clip the wall again. Not what we would have wanted. 1.4 seconds is the gap to second place now. 3 seconds is the number that we're looking for to build that gap up to take a crazy win. It's almost up to 2 seconds now. See our wing damage, as Kehoe seems to have got the move done on Finn behind us. It is not what we wanted, but we are close to that 3 second window. It's up to 2 through this first sector, back down to 1.8. Yeah, a crazy race. It looks like we're on for a podium. Finn is close to that 3 second window, so possibly second place from this race. If we can keep it together, put some good time in, as we almost spin through the roundabout, not what we need. That's going to cost us at least half a second through there. And trying to break the toe, no overtake left at all, no deployment. Just checking one last time to see if Kehoe magically has any penalties, but I can tell you that he doesn't. It's down to 1.4, so not looking like we're going to get the win, but the gap to Finn at 2.8. Just going to have to nail this final sector to make sure that we can get a second place, which would actually be a really great result. And considering Finn, I think, was 1 point behind me coming into this race, if we can pick up points from him, where it seemed like he had the race won after that restart, and Ben, who was 10 points ahead of us, now not going to be scoring any points. If we can pick up second place, then we would take the championship lead. As we come into the few final corners, the gap to Finn is now 4 seconds. Kehoe firmly within our 3-second window, so we are going to come across the line as we round the final corner, take the win on track. Unfortunately, not the actual race win, as Kehoe takes the win, and we do finish in second place. So a big congrats to Kehoe, his first win of the season. I think it was his first podium as well. We take second place, which for our championship is really good. I think we have a lead now of about 8 points, which going into China, I know Ben said it's one of his strong tracks, but I'm actually feeling quite good there. So we'll see what we can do. That'll be on Wednesday. So I look forward to seeing you guys then. Apologies for the length of this video. I realise it's actually quite long. But thank you if you did watch all of it. It's just a lot happens I felt I needed to cover. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.